welcome into our Devil's Digest game preview as Arizona State gets set to head up to Baylor for its first matchup in Big 12 conference play. As always, I'm Justin Lestertosa. That's publisher Hodobino. First, we'd like to quickly thank our sponsors, starting with Burrito Express. 100% fresh ingredients, authentic recipes, the best burrito that you're going to get in the Valley with 9 locations. So go to theburritoexpress.com to check out all those locations, all the deals under $10, and help support some of your favorite ASU athletes who have NIL deals there. And then another thank you to our other sponsor in Santan Ford. Gas prices are still at an all-time high here. So if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, whether that's hybrid or electric, head up to the Val Vista on the 202 freeway to Santan Ford. Get a deal for a brand new car. This is a car dealership that's helped out various ASU athletes in the past, so make sure that you go support Santan Ford. And Hode, ASU through non-conference play, 2-1, fell out of the AP poll. Maybe not the greatest stretch for ASU football in those 3 games, but now they've got a chance to start Big 12 playoff strong. What did you see throughout those 3 games, and what are some of the lessons that they can learn moving into conference play?
I'll tell you what, Justin, it's kind of ironic because before the NAU game, I said that ASU was going to go for the season opener for a shock and awe, a lot of heavy dose of a passing game. And look, I mean, you look at the numbers that Jordan Tyson is putting up until now, I mean, they really have been incredible. And you could definitely make the argument that as great as the 2024 season that he has really stepped up his game this year. But I just really feel that there maybe was a notion, inadvertently or not, that the passing game was going to be so much ahead of the running game that there's going to be more emphasis on it. And we saw it against NAU. You saw it in the first half against Mississippi State. And it just looks like that switch that took place at the halftime at the Mississippi State game really helped ASU score 20 unanswered points, come really, really close to a victory. And that was obviously much in thanks to the stout running game, especially Raleek Brown, who's one of the statistical leaders, not only in the Big 12, but also in the entire nation. So I definitely think that you are going to see more emphasis on the running game, and we'll talk a little later about the compelling reasons to do that this week. But I also feel that the ball has to be spread around to more wide receivers not named Jordan Tyson and to the tight ends. We started to see a little glimmer of that last week against Texas State, where Shimon Mateer, ASU's tight end, had a career-high 6 receptions, 60 yards, and a touchdown. So if you're a Sun Devil fan, you definitely want to see more of that and not make the passing game really one-dimensional. But let's face it, I mean, to have a good passing game, you also need to have a good pass protection, and that is something that both the offensive line and the tight ends really have to hone on because I think that's an element that left a lot to be desired. Definitely hasn't helped the slow start that Sam Levitt has had to the season. So to me, those are some of the lessons that ASU has learned and really has to learn as they get into Big 12 play.
Yeah, you mentioned it, the rushing attack for ASU, led by Raleek Brown, has been pretty stout to start the season, but that aerial attack hasn't fully lived up to expectations. What do you want to see out of the Sun Devil offense going into Baylor?
Well, look, I mean, I don't think this is a game where you really want to get cute. I mean, you have back-to-back 200 running games. You're playing the 3rd worst run defense in the entire Big 12. So to me, it's pretty easy what the game plan is going to be. Maybe it's not going to be a piece of cake to run another 200 yards, but something that ASU is definitely capable of doing. And obviously, I mean, if you're going to put so much emphasis on the run, that can open the screen game, and that can also open the play action. So I think there's really just a lot of benefits to really be run heavy. I would just also think that the playbook has to be modified, has to be reduced. Just put Sam Levitt in more comfortable situations. Put the offensive line in more comfortable situations. We already know that wide receiver Jalen Moss, the slot receiver, is going to be out for this game as well. So ASU is going to play 2 tight end set for the vast majority of snaps. Now, the 2 tight ends have done a great job run blocking, but pass blocking, that's a whole lot of stories. So those tight ends that do show up, no matter what combination you have, do have to show that they can also be receiving threats, and that they can also really just enhance the ASU offense altogether. And again, stay away from that one-dimensional Levitt to Tyson. It's been a great connection. They produced already a lot of highlights in only 3 weeks, but you just have to see a more diverse wide receiver contribution now for the Sun Devils. But again, first and foremost, to me, this game is really, really simple. Run the ball, and run it again, because not only is that the vast strength of your offense. That's also the weakness of the Baylor defense. And more importantly, you want to keep a very good quarterback like Sawyer Robertson off the field as much as possible.
Yeah, and you mentioned Sawyer Robertson, the leader of this Baylor offense, and ASU's been going up against these explosive offenses for a couple of weeks now, and Baylor is just as explosive as it gets. However, ASU's defense has proven its worth. What do you expect to see out of ASU's defense against this Baylor offense?
Yeah, so Robertson's already putting up great numbers. He has 1,070 yards passing in only 3 games, already passed for 10 touchdowns. But they really have a very strong running game, too. Brian Washington, their primary running back, is top 15 in all the major rushing statistical categories nationally. So I think that really what ASU has to do is just put as much pressure on Sawyer Robertson, because he's a very tall quarterback, not really as athletic as a Sam Levitt, for example, and maybe being flushed out of the pocket would make him somewhat uncomfortable. So I just feel that the ASU definitely showed that they can be a very, very good pressuring defense. I'm not saying the Texas State offense is anywhere close to the Baylor offense, but this was a very explosive offense that came into Tempe. ASU absolutely shut them down, 5 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss. So I do think the ASU defense is really coming in with some momentum. But obviously, when you have a very, very dangerous quarterback, you just have to make sure that you're very, very assignment sound, very, very gap sound. Don't make mistakes like the winning touchdown against Mississippi State, where you have a specific defensive back trying to do somebody else's job, and that's how they score a winning touchdown with just 30 seconds left. It's definitely going to be quite the challenge, maybe the biggest challenge that ASU defense has faced so far. But I just really like how this ASU defense has played throughout the first 3 games. And again, they really were able to slow down a very, very dangerous Texas State offense last week. So I think there is some momentum that they are entering.
Yeah, and this Baylor game seems like the first of a gauntlet on ASU's plate in Big 12 play. It's going to be big for the Sun Devils to go on the road and come out with a win. And historically, throughout the past 2 years, ASU hasn't been as good on the road as they have been in Tempe. How do you expect this game to shape out in Waco?
Well, I'm sure some ASU fans are saying right now, well, ASU lost their first ever Big 12 game on the road to Texas Tech, and we know how 2024 ended up. But I just think this is a different ASU team, just because even though the passing offense wasn't kicking on all cylinders after 3 weeks last year, I just feel like there's really maybe more to repair in 2025 than there was in 2024. So I think a win is just very, very important for the Sun Devils. Not to jump ahead, you do have a short week playing Friday next week at home against TCU. Maybe not as challenging as Baylor, but it's definitely not going to be a cakewalk or anything like that. But I said before the Mississippi State game, and even though ASU lost that contest, I think my theory did hold true that if you have a strong running game and a strong defense, chances are you are going to win on the road. And if you remember that game at Mississippi State, ASU scored 20 unanswered points specifically because of those 2 aspects. If they punch in the ball on the 1-yard line instead of setting for a field goal, worst comes to worst, the game goes into overtime. And obviously the defense didn't have that critical mistake. Then they win the game for ASU on the road, and the 3-0, still in the top 25, and maybe the whole narrative around this team does change. But again, I just feel that the way the running game has played the last, let's say game and a half, the way the defense has played ever since the beginning of the season, I think there's a lot to like about this ASU defense. And I just feel that this is really going to be a battle of both defenses. And I think the ASU defense is going to be better than the Bears on Saturday night. So my prediction is to have ASU win their Big 12 opener 31-27.
Well, thank you, Hode, for your insight. We will be in Waco to catch all the coverage. So to stay locked in, go to DevilsDigest.com. Follow Devil's Digest on Twitter at Devil's Digest. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors in Burrito Express and Santan Ford. And as always, I'm Justin Lestratosa. That's publisher Hode Urbino. We'll talk to you guys in Waco.